guys, I got a special video for you today. That's right, we are back here at TNT Card and Hobby. And guess what? We have got information coming down that we are getting in a brand new card game for you to try. Not even out yet. It is called, that's right, Path of the Necromancer. Here's some information. Yeah, amazing. What's this video about, you might ask? It's not all about Path of the Necromancer, even though that's very cool. This is also about the board club from the local high school here in town. So they came, they played a game, and they are going to review it. And I hope you like it. Thank you so much. And as always, we are always doing something. So here's a list of events, and come and meet us down at Freedom Vapes. That is a local shop here in Medford. We're going to bring the games. That's right. We're going to be bringing Halo and some racing and some fighting. There'll be cornhole. There'll be food. There'll be prizes at the door. Super amazing. I hope to see you here. It is on 420. That's amazing, right? There's something going on 420? I can't remember. Hail Hydra. That's right. So they've been playing the board game, having a lot of fun with it. You guys played it for how many times?
This will be probably 5 times now altogether.
5 times.
Yeah.
Has it got any duller as you played, or did you completely enjoy it, or what were your thoughts?
So far, it hasn't really gone dull at all.
No.
It's been fun no matter what because it's always different. The bad guys can be different. The people who you play as can be different. Even the agents that you are, the imposters among them, can be different.
I only played it once.
So how are the imposters found out?
The imposters are found out through social deduction by either their actions in the game, or at the end of the game, they can Hail Hydra and be revealed. Revealing the Hail Hydra will make it so that they do more damage to the heroes of the game.
Or you could just break the game entirely, like I did in one session.
Yeah, you can be the imposter the entire time instead of.
Even if you're not it.
So like the way you find out is you give tokens like this that are randomly given out to people. They don't exactly know who they are, so go ahead and take one and pass it down. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one. Don't look at it. We're gonna figure out who the Hydra agent is at the end of this scenario here. So one of you guys, or 2 of you, may be the Hydra.
Right.
That's kind of how, but in the game you actually get to know who you are and which team you're fighting for. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing about the game is you're given like these plus and these minus tokens, right?
Yep.
And every time you're trying to fight for your team, you only have negatives.
Happens half the time.
You're like, really, I'm not Hydra. My hand is really awful, guys.
Yeah.
It's all 4s, -4s.
And for the game being that social deduction, you can't, and as these students have described, you can't tell if you have good cards or bad cards. You can only say good or bad. So if you're a Hydra, you can just say, oh, I'm playing good cards. And there tend to be the minuses. The goal of the game is to set up against these villains. They could be ranged from powerful villains like that of Red Skull, or the mediocre villains like Hydra Agent even. And those range of villains will be how powerful they can be. They can destroy the city or take some time to attack the city as you go. But either way, if you play down minus cards, it just doesn't add to the total. It makes it harder to play the game.
So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the mechanics of the game. What was your favorite mechanic in the game? Like, what did you enjoy doing the most? We'll go right down to the line.
Well, honestly, it was just fun to mess with other players, even if you weren't it.
So the deception is your favorite mechanic.
Yeah, that's the thing about playing these games. Even if you aren't it, it's still fun to use tactics to deceive someone. Pretend you're on the other side to lure them out. Or if that doesn't work, well, they can't tell your strategy next session. They don't know what the hell you're doing.
So I guess what was your favorite mechanic?
I gotta say, I like the Hail Hydra mechanic because right at the end, you could have been the one that looks most innocent, and then all of a sudden, Hail Hydra.
We did see that happen with you, didn't we?
Yeah.
Everybody thought you were innocent, like, but did you not see the red hair? Wasn't
there
a herring happening? A red herring?
A red herring. Why didn't I think of that?
And not to mention, most of the time, as it's randomly selected to become the Hydra agent, it's also in between the voting rounds. Typically, the game goes from 3 to 4 rounds. The first round is versus a very weak guy that tends to kind of ease into it. There's no voting rounds. After that, it amps up some voting rounds to kick someone out. Kick someone out makes it so that they are out of the playing the cards, good or bad. That's where we get to have that social deduction. But some people tend to be suspicious the entire time, or they just play the fool anyway.
It's not written in the rules that you can't do that.
Yes.
My
Join
buddy,
the winning side, I guess.
he is Hydra no matter what this thing says. I don't care what this thing says. He's Hydra, and you should vote him out because he's still playing against you.
Yes.
Or I could be completely normal. You would think that as a Hydra, and then you would think, wait, are they just playing agent because of this? Wait, let's not vote them out because they could really just be an agent. We don't know.
I guess what's your favorite mechanic?
Totally not being targeted.
I don't think that's actually a mechanic, but
Now that's
you
just
do
bad
find
luck.
your way to get your. It's like funny, like guys, I am Hydra, but hear me out. I still belong, and everyone's like, yeah, that guy belongs. I'm like, but he just said he's Hydra.
The classic one was a student of that you might have seen on the podcast before, but he is a master of that manipulation. He seems to attract the attention of everyone, and either playing the Hydra or not playing the Hydra, everyone just gives him the cards.
So if you guys were going to like make your own game, would you like try to make a game in this style, or would you go completely different?
Oh, no. If I were to make my own game, I like these type of games. TTRPG. TTRPG. Fully.
So, what part of the tabletop role-playing games do you enjoy playing the most? Like, what part of it?
Oh, a lot like this game, the social deduction and role-playing aspects are always the most fun. Getting into a character and just being that person, escaping to another world is the most fun part.
Yes, and I found a lot for this game itself. You be the heroes, you can play those characters and be the stars of the world that you create, and then be, hey, I'm gonna shoot it all down because I'm a Hydra agent. Or in other role-playing games, I'm actually the villain the entire time.
Yep.
And those are always fun. What about you?
It's hard to tell, honestly.
So if you were to make a game, would you use some of the mechanics on this game to add on to a new game, or maybe create your own rules to make it more fun?
I think I'd probably use similar mechanics to this one with social deduction and stuff.
Yes. And the social deduction, what part of that deduction is it more fun? Is it the finding out who the person is, or is it deceiving?
For me, I like more of the deceiving, but I'm also bad at the deceiving as well, so...
You did pretty good that one time.
No one believed you.
No one suspected you.
Yeah, I guess.
What about you?
I think I would make a game with similar mechanics to this, because it's like games like Among Us where you try to distract other people and you can get other people to vote out who you don't like.
And I think that's a really good point, because I like the idea of there is someone in the group trying to sabotage everyone, but at the same time, they could just be helping. But at the end, when they pull the twist on you, that's always fun. If I were to make a game myself using some of the mechanics on here, I would probably revamp the heroes a little bit so that they're a little bit more powerful, but also have it where they're the secret Hydra agent villains too, so they could do a little bit more stuff at the end. Where even though they can destroy the game in general, I think that if you tune it up to where the Hydra agents, they can do more stuff. Plus, you can add on like how the agent can flip the next 3 red cards on there, and just kind of have it where the stakes are higher at the end of the game. But have it where if they do the stakes, the heroes get a buff too. Because typically, if you get really bad rolls in the cards and get the random chance of getting all reds all the time, you're gonna lose pretty quily,
That's
even
when I took all
if
the
you.
blues out because I'm really Hydra.
Yeah, even if you are playing it properly, you're trying everyone trying to win, even if you are Hydra agent, you still may lose just because of the randomness of it.
Oh yeah.
But that's where the fun deduction comes in. Yeah. Any other questions that we have on the game? I do think the downsides of this game were the randomness. As I said before, the randomness was very difficult to overcome when you're trying to work together and not just fall apart as a Hydra agents infiltrate.
That's
Do
why.
you think it'd be as fun if that randomness wasn't there, though?
That's true.
Because, I
There's-
would think that randomness actually helps, like, you don't know who's good and who's bad.
Well, the randomness with the good and bad is fine, but the randomness with the cards is something that I think can.
Are you talking about the hero cards, villain cards? Or what?
Oh, the plus and minus.
plus and minuses.
Okay.
Those are something that I think can really be changed in a lot of easier ways. There's a lot of games with stuff like that, with mechanics like that work a lot more better with.
What would explain? What's the mechanic that you like a lot in the other game?
The best way I can do it is you have a hero card, and it has an attack stat and a defense. It has an attack stat on it. Just a set attack stat.
Well, don't we just know who's good and who's bad then?
Well, that's where the Hydra agents who are there still add to the attack stat, but then they put their minuses in to kind of counteract there.
They still secretly get minuses. Kind of like other games, everyone has to close their eyes like Werewolf.
Oh,
when
okay.
they
I was
pick
gonna
up their
ask,
card.
did anyone play like Werewolf or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
Werewolf. A lot like
Okay,
Werewolf.
yeah, because that's a lot like this, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
where you
Werewolf-
close your eyes and then grab
Yeah.
the minuses where no one else can see.
Yeah, yeah.
That I feel like that would make it a lot more
So
impactful.
I think it would be a little bit more impactful.
It would be interesting to have a character that can manipulate the pool, right?
Yeah, and I also
Like,
think too the
yeah.
heroes being able to attack once per turn or once per game makes it real difficult for heroes to actually use their abilities. Because the villains could hide their abilities entirely so they can't contribute, which is fine. That happens. But there's also you can only use it once. So if you use it early, it wastes it, and
I
then if
think
you
it's
use
because
it
it's also
late,
powerful, though, right?
That's true.
It's very powerful, so you can't have them do it because they just automatically win.
Yes.
Heroes always win.
I remember I misread the rules the first time and I did it every turn, and it was nice for the character I was, but I can see how it can get really bad for other characters.
If-
I played as Daredevil, allowing me to have everyone close their eyes. I picked 2 from random people, looked at their cards, put it back, and gave 1 to someone else.
I think
It's really good, but it also plays into the, well, what about the one like Iron Man who could just do what 9
2 extra damage.
2 extra damage each time?
I think a nice fix to that would be, well, there's this one big powerful thing, which is a normal one, and then you can do a smaller hero ability.
Right.
That
yeah,
would be good.
that
yeah.
would be good.
That'd be good because then you could control how powerful it is, right? You can balance it in the game.
So you have one large one you can only use once, and then smaller ones you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
use
no,
each
that'd
time.
be good. That'd
And
be
as
good.
we described earlier, we have a little bit of experience difference. Your experience is the first time playing, last time you did. How did you feel about the hero attacks?
They were fine, but you had to choose precisely when you wanted to use them.
Yeah. And if you felt like you missed your chance to do so, you felt kind of bad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a strength, though. Like actually figuring out when you should do it is a strength. To the
That's
game,
true.
Not a weakness.
But the thing is, the smaller ones can still have that strength from only being able to use the large one once.
Yes. No, I like your idea for sure. Where you actually had like smaller ones that you could like keep on doing, right? But then it also helps like deduce who's a Hydra and who's not a Hydra.
That is true.
Because like if you're like look at the guy like you could be helping us out, but every turn you haven't.
Well, that could add more strategy actually with the Hydra
That's true.
debating. Do I want to do this? Because
And-
I'll be helping them.
Yeah, and also
they'll
maybe
get-
they have a secret pool of their own cards too, to where like everyone has their own pool of cards, not just the main deck, to where they can pull from. So the special attack would be adding an extra card, and it's more minuses, put in more minuses. But I do think that the rules as it is now works really well with the game.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of replay value, and I feel like we can add stuff to it to just be more creative. But at the end of the day, the game itself is really well.
Yeah,
really well
no, I
done.
think it's a lot of fun. I think we should probably. Do we want to talk about anything else? Anybody else at the table want to add anything?
No, not really.
Not really. I guess it's time for us to find out who the Hydra agents
Yes.
are at this table. So just remember, anybody that was speaking as a Hydra agent was telling you false information. Even though we didn't know.
Entirely false.
Entirely false.
All random false.
All of the criticisms they did are not.
They're not. That's
Totally.
right.
And you will never know who it is.
Yeah, well, you will because we're going to tell you right now. So,
Exactly.
Oh, shoot. I'm one of the Hydras.
Shield.
Shield.
Shield. The
So all the
newcomer
criticisms
and the
were-
Oh,
it
so, yeah.
makes sense. The one
So
who's
all
never
the
played
questions
before.
were being baited.
Yeah.
Once. Both times.
Yeah.
One time I was Hydra.
Well, thank you guys so much. And what are you guys?
We are a tabletop game club from the local high school, and we.
Where at?
Medford area high school.
Medford,
Yes.
Wisconsin?
Yes.
Okay, I want to make sure it's not Oregon.
Oh, right. Or Medford, was it New York, I believe?
Yeah, there's a lot of Medfords. It's
Yes.
amazing. Every time I look up Medford, it's always Oregon, no matter what.
Yeah, because our town was actually named after for some.
That is true. And we play tabletop board games. I help, as a teacher of it, I help encourage the students to look and play games critically, as well as look at mechanics of other games, and mostly tabletop board games, or tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder, to help them explore their creativity, allowing them to be able to go into a world that they're not used to, or just enjoy a game that's not of the ordinary. Hail Hydra is a prime example of a game that's not the typical board game that you've seen, like Monopoly or Yahtzee. So it's
Yahtzee!
a lot more fun when you get to be creative, and especially with the card shop that's in here that we're talking from, having so much variety of games as well as access to material makes it a lot more worthwhile.
It does. And I thank you guys so much for being on the channel, and share it with everybody. That'd be great, including you guys. Come on.
Yeah.
You guys can do it.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe.
That's right.
And add a comment. You got to add some people going through.
That's right.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to do self-promo on this?
You
Sure.
always are.
You always are.
I have a webcomic. Read it.
Well, you gotta tell what it is.
Yeah, you can't just say
You
that.
just can't say I have a
Oh, okay. The
Also,
web-
don't slap the table. They're gonna hear that
yeah.
more than your voice.
Yeah. Okay.
Subscribe to Markiplier.
Okay, don't plug other material.
No. The Corellian webcomic. Corellian webcomic on Twitter is. Please read it.
Please read it.
Please.
Very nice.
Don't go to the bad places on Twitter.
Just read my webcomic. Don't use
That's
Twitter
all of
for
them.
anything else.
That's a whole other podcast for itself.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
I wanna be the person I'm supposed to be.